evening all, welcome to some tactics, and this was a particularly, this was a fun match, watching people flail around with my my trusty flaylock and my trusty plasma cannon. Is just, it's gorgeous, it really is. Anyway, game's going pretty interesting at the moment as I get completely stomped off the point by some aim-assisted scout, god damn it. The game isn't too bad, and I think, there's a lot of people I think shit talking about the game, which is a shame. I think that's a real shame, but I think at the moment the game is still pretty strong and it's actually not too bad. What an introduction to a video, I hear you say. It's only because you have matches like this. This is a hell of a match. Look at that. Jump in, plasma cannon a heavy in the face, and then we take fire from the other heavy, and then we manage to bring him down as well. That is how this game should be played. It's fun. This game has still got legs in it, it's still got life in it, and I think, to be honest, again in my opinion, there's still a lot here to do as well. I think the problem maybe perhaps is that there's not a great deal of competition. The competition is very samey at the moment, and I think if they just had one more push to include PvE into this, I think there'd probably be by the factor of 5 still people playing it, which is a shame. It would have been great to have that in the game. But there we go. What can you do? Legion, I suspect, is going to have a lot of this as well. But again, let's continue our discussion about other games, because to be honest, it's interesting at the moment, seeing how I think a lot of people are really putting a huge amount of investiture on Destiny being brilliant. And now I'm totally there as well. I'd love for Destiny to be really good. My fear at the moment is that I'm really getting kind of bored of the hype that games give you, that you finally get into the game and then you realize it's a load of bollocks and you've kind of been sold a dream. It's marketing done really badly, in my opinion. Well, maybe goodly in a way, because it's actually sold the game, but the reality is they've sold a bit of a crap game. Titanfall was another example that I know I said in the last video, but I'm going to cite it again here and explain a bit further why Titanfall was, for me, a bit of a disappointment. Everything about it worked. The parkour was brilliant. The Titans were excellent. The map design was very good. The upgrade system wasn't terrible, so you could actually have quite a bit of bespoking from your Titan. But I'll tell you what the biggest problem was, is that they based it on the Battlefield system. So, you have a fit, and then you can modify that fit, with about 4 different things. And to me, that wasn't enough. They should go further into it, like Dust has gone, where they actually give you modules. You should have been able to fit your Titan with dozens of different modules, and have a lot bigger maps with more open world things to do. There should have been a PvE only mode, and there wasn't. Certainly when I played it, there was literally just PvP all the time, every day, and that drove me insane. I wanted to play shooting my Titan around, shooting other NPCs and having a challenge with that. I did not want to have to play some dude from Korea who's incredibly better than me at the game, who then every time I get my Titan it's dead within 2 minutes. That to me was the frustrating piece of these games, is that yes, they should have worked. Everything about them should have worked. And people will debate me to say, well, they are working, people are still playing it in huge numbers. Well, good on you, bro, but they're not working for me. And no offense, I don't give a shit if a million people are playing it. If I didn't like it and it doesn't engage me, then I don't like it, And I think that's it. What do you look for in a game that makes the game good for you? To me, Space Engineers is perhaps one of these games, because Space Engineers, I think, has just got everything that Minecraft had, but it's also got everything that Eve has. It's a space game that you build and mine and craft. And to me, maybe that's what I'm looking for. Maybe that's my raison d'etre, because I do like games that give me the freedom to go and build what I want. It's the scale and scope of it as well. That feeling of, oh my god, I just built a capital ship in this game and it's flying through space shooting guns. It's like, whoa, and it's hairs on the back of the neck stuff. That I think, a lot of people react to and understand if you're that kind of gamer. Now, if you're not, if you're a Dust player who wants to play a game to shoot other people in the face, this is where you find it a bit tricky, because for me, I've got to admit, for my own personal kind of, I guess, enjoyment, the games that I would cite as enjoyable for me are very different to what others would say is good for them. For example, I like Half-Life. I like the way that Half-Life played. I like the way that it felt. I like the way the guns felt. It didn't feel light, but it felt good. It felt flowing. It felt smooth. I like the way that Dust feels, because obviously some of the guns, not all, for God's sake, but I like the way that, this kind of game feels, because it's got the kind of hints of Wolfenstein and Quake 3 and, Team Arena and things like that. And these are the kind of games I like, real fast-paced, running, jumping kind of, feel to them. And I think really, ultimately Unreal Tournament, that is actually what sold the game to me. When I heard it was done in the Unreal Tournament engine, I was like, well, yeah, definitely I'll try this. And you can feel it. You can feel the sort of the icy touch of Unreal Tournament quite nicely in it, because it does feel like it, does flow like it, but it's also got heaviness, which makes no sense, but it's got heavy feel to it. So, you know that certain guns are pretty powerful. You know that it's got that lovely feel to it. Now, Destiny, will it be anything like this? I don't know. I mean, I really couldn't tell you, but I'm excited for it. But I think I'm really cautious this time round to know that it's probably not going to be the best game ever made, like every single game has been sold that it will be. Battlefield 4 was a great example of this, a game that really should have been brilliant and should have made perfect sense. But the reality is it was actually a bit crap. And it's better now, but I think the reality is that it's too little too late. And I think the same with Dust, it's too little too late with Dust. They could pull this round and make it a great game, but the reality is that it's soiled. So people are very distrustful of the whole the whole development process now, I guess, which is a shame. And I also agree with it. So a lot of people are, this all stemmed from a video ago, somebody telling me that I'm flogging a dead horse with this. Why am I still doing videos about this game? And I think the reality is that that it's a fair statement. That hurts me deep, bro. But the guy who said it, I really respect. So I hear what you say. I really do. I think it's always a kind of discussion point, really, is when do you kind of move on to something else? It's like, when I look at Terraria, for example. Terraria has just consumed my life for years, but I always play it for a month solidly, almost addictively, and then I put it down and I just almost walk away. And it's almost as if some other trinket just comes along and that's it. I'm away with the fairies. And I think that's kind of what I do often with a lot of games, is all of a sudden something better comes along and whoosh, oh, look at this, chasing butterflies over here. And I suspect that's actually what's going to happen here with Destiny. Is a lot of people, and Elite and Star Citizen, etc. Is a lot of these people love Dust, they love Eve rather, and all of a sudden these better games, or not better. See, this is it. They're not better, but these newer bauble games are just going to dangle in front of people, and they're just going to be like, oh, let's try it. Yeah, let's try it. And there's probably a kind of number of people that stick with it, and there's also a number of people that come back as well. So, it's interesting how many people have, quote, left Dust, and yet you still see them playing this game. So, there's a little bit of a kind of pinch of salt with that. Anyway, there we go. Wow, again, talked about other games all the way through this. Next time we will talk Dust, I promise. I think at the moment, if you're enjoying the game, good on you. If you're not enjoying the game, don't play it. Simple as that. Life can be as simple as those kind of choices. And I think for myself, I am having a riot playing this game. Admittedly, some matches are just driving me insane. But, at the end of the day, the fun is still there to be had. At some point, something will happen. I'll get pissed off and I'll leave, and then that'll be it. And then we shall close the book on the chronology that was Dust 514. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you next time.